Let's talk sticks today, or rather, which stick might be the right one for you. And this is not a let's buy a stick from this producer kind of video. It's more that I will try to show you like the different parts of the staff and tell you what it does, so you can decide better what might be right for you. So to make your decisions a bit more informed, especially if you're new or like in an immediate state where you don't really know what stuff you need. This will be mostly or basically completely about contact. So really we're talking contact moves. But I think most of it will apply to spinning as well if you're into that. But that's not really what I cover here. So, staff length. If you want to do contact staff and you don't know if you have like special preferences or anything, go with the rule of thumb and have like a staff that is standing like roughly between shoulder and chin height. That's my stuff. Also you can check that it's like roughly from hand to hand if you stretch them out. For most people this will be roughly around 1.50 m. And that's also what I go by. There are some people who say a longer stick spins nicer. People who do like more than one staff usually tend to have a bit shorter sticks, so more like in the 120, 130 range. But if you want to do single staff, contact between the shoulder and the chin. Staff thickness. So basically really how the diameter of your staff is, and the main factor this will contribute to is to how fast it will roll. Because basically the thicker the staff, the further it travels within like one revolution. So generally thicker staffs tend to roll faster while thinner staffs tend to roll slower. Also, if we talk really thick or really thin staffs, you have to think about how well they will be in like certain positions, like a fishtail or something. If it's super thick, it might be hard to hold on a point. If it's super thin, it might be a bit awkward because it goes into like dips into your body easily. But the main point is really the rolling speed. Here in Europe we came to a consensus that most sticks are like 22 millimeters. I know in the US it's like thinner. There are also like some people who prefer like thicker ones like 25, but in the end it's up to you. Okay, let's talk about weight. I think that's rather personal thing how much your whole stuff should weigh. I prefer light, and I always think it's good for your joints, and if you want to have long training hours, it's a bit nicer on your body. Some people claim that it's easier to feel for them if the stuff is heavier, so just choose what feels right for you, but think about weight distribution. An ideal staff has as little weight as possible within the stick and as much as possible, well, not as much as possible, but the weight concentrated towards the ends, because that affects how the staff will spin. So if you have too much weight in the middle and not enough weight outside, it will not keep a nice spin. That's also why collapsibles are sometimes a bit of a drawback, because yeah, it's nice to travel with them, but usually you want to have your weight here, and with the collapsible you have somewhere where the connector sits additional weight basically towards the middle of the staff. So really think about it, do you need it to travel? And if yes, then that might be fine, but if no, it might be better to purchase a whole stick, because in the end it will likely be a better product than a collapsible one. So for tube material you have basically two big option groups. There's like metal sticks and let's say plastic sticks. Out of metal is usually aluminum or titanium. The plastic ones are most of the time carbon fiber, but I saw also other tube materials that I did not try, so the plastic ones maybe stick to carbon fiber would be my guess. The main big difference is how they feel on the skin and how they take vibration. Carbon fiber will be vibrate really quickly and kind of minimally, but it will be noticeable for a short time. So if you are not round in your body, you will have vibration, but really quick. While metal will not vibrate as much, but longer. It's not a huge deal what you pick. It's more like, I think you can get used to both. And I think the overall weight is a better indicator of what you need. Okay, let's talk about how your ends are shaped, or rather how far outside of your staff you bring weight. Like if you compare these two, this is really compact, while this brings weight outside of the stick quite a bit. And what it does is this design, or even bigger ones, want to keep their rolling state, I would say, more. So if it's not rolling, I need to apply a bit more force to start the roll, and also a bit more to stop it again. Not sure if that's super visible here now. While if you have like super small ends, it's like no effort at all. I have very minimal angles in my arm, and it starts to roll, it stops easily. Yes. The same is for flowers, because what they do really is also, if you spin, they go outside, they bring weight outside, so they do quite the same thing. So this is now quite an extreme example. It has really big wicks, it has flowers, and here it's really notable that I need to apply more force to bring it to a roll and to stop it again. So this design makes it easier to have easy control in your rolls, because like if your angles in your arms are a bit too high, it's not super dramatic because it will take some time to adapt to the speed, so you have more time to correct. But for everything where you want to change roll speed or stop the stuff again, it might be a bit harder. That's for most concepts not super noticeable, but you will run into things where like the one is easier or the other. In general, things like to learn steves and rolls like this might be easier, but it will make it harder to get into angel rolls. In the end, you can do basically everything, I guess, with every stick, but if you want to specialize, you can already think about what you want. Also, point on flowers in moves where it moves like this, like in a halo and a fishtail. If they are really heavy, they will change the weight outside a bit, which is not the biggest deal, but it's noticeable. But that's a completely personal opinion. I would always go rather for bigger ends than for flowers, because I don't like that, but that might not be a thing for you. Okay, grip tapes. There are basically 4 main types of grips I am used to. This is the one I prefer. This is we call them collectively like racket grips or over grips. It's basically just grip tapes we got from other sports like tennis or hockey or handlebar bike tapes. It's not the grippiest overall, but it has a nice grip, but you can have little slides if you want to, but it can be really grippy if you need it. Usually it handles things like sweat and stuff or moisture in general really well. The big drawback is that you have to change it from time to time. It will get just dirty and the surface will rub off a bit, and depending on how you play, you want to change it every few months to get like to really nice grip again, so it has quite a maintenance factor. Yes. Then we have a lot of like foam type grips. They're usually a bit thicker, so probably think that they will make your overall stick a bit thicker if you use it. It's really grippy. As you maybe can see, if I try to slide, it's barely possible. They handle moisture quite well. The thing is that they also, after some time, they will lose their surface and you want to replace them. In general, these will hold longer than racket grips, but it's also not completely maintenance free. Then as the third big type we have silicone grip. I don't know if you can see it, but usually it's like a transparent white-ish smooth surface that is really grippy as long as if it's dry. If you are a person who knows that you sweat a lot or you are in like super humid climates, this stuff will get super slippery with not that much moisture. So if you know you're sweaty or you are like in a high humid environment, that's probably not the grip for you. Other than that, as long as you don't damage it mechanically, you will not need to replace it. It's nice to clean it from time to time, but that's basically it. And the fourth big type is like everything that is like texturized rubber. So it's really like a rubber band that has like a texture on it. That's like, I'd say it's the grippiest of all of them. It handles moisture a bit better than the silicone grip, but also if it's like very wet, it will get slippery. Also these, if you have sensitive skin, be aware because these can be quite rough on your skin. Me, for example, I can't really use that because like my arms get red immediately. It feels awkward, but I know a lot of people who love them. So that's just something you have to see for yourself, I guess. And with this, and also with the silicone grip, you have also to think about these will add a noticeable amount of weight to your stick. And that might be something to look out for. Okay, that was everyone I have to say about how stuffs are built and what might be right for you for the moment. If you have further questions, let me know in the comments. Maybe I forgot something and we can discuss it there. Let me know if you liked this, if this was helpful for you. Because this is kind of a try, but I thought I'd make something for the community because I see the question quite often. So if it helps you or you see it helping others, let me know, and bye!